Welcome to this flow class. Today will be all about one of my favorite poses, vrksasana or tree pose. You might need a couple of blocks. I think that's it. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll actually start on our seat in Baddha Konasana. Let's come onto your sit bones. Allow your feet to come in front, soles of your feet meet. You don't have to have a super close Baddha Konasana. We're just starting class, so just kind of find the range of motion here with your feet that works for you. They could be a little bit farther out, they could be a little bit close together, whatever feels good for your hips. So your knees will fall out wide. Let's get a long spine, and then we'll just take a few kind of like body circles. So circle the torso around the legs in one direction, grounding down through the sit bones as we move here. You can even kind of release through the upper back and the head. Just circling in one direction. Let's take one more in this direction, and then change directions. Go back around the other way. You should feel your hips kind of start to open. Let's do one more in this direction. Once we come back to center, keep the right leg bent. Let's straighten the left leg out in front of us and allow the right sole of the foot to come to the inside of the left thigh into vrksasana. Let's inhale our arms up overhead and get a long spine, and then exhale, hinge at your hips and fold forward over that left leg. You may need to realign your chest to be square over that left leg. And just take an easy fold here. It's right at the start of class. We don't need to go too deep. You can squeeze through the outer right hip to kind of help open up that right knee. We're essentially in our tree legs right here in our vrksasana. Let's inhale, come back up to center. Bring the left foot to meet the right. Come back into that Baddha Konasana. And then let's inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the elbows down almost into like a little back bend, and let's just do a few seated cat-cows here in Baddha Konasana. So inhale the elbows down, exhale, round through the chest, draw the elbows in towards one another, hollow out the chest. Inhale and open, little mini back bend, shoulder blades draw towards one another. Exhale, fold. Inhale, open. Exhale, round and fold forward, elbows come together. Let's inhale, open, back into neutral spine. Reach the right leg out long. Bring the left sole of the foot in for vrksasana on the other side. Ground down through your sit bones. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward over that right leg. Can allow the crown of your head to release. Try to keep those right toes active, right leg active. Ground down through both sit bones. Nice stretch up the back of the right leg as well. And then let's inhale and just come back up to center. Bring the legs back into meet. Just cross the ankles, and then we'll come into a tabletop. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's lift that right knee off of the mat and just take a few hip circles with a bent knee. So circle that hip out in one direction. Maybe hearing some popping or some cracking. That's all good as long as it's not associated with any pain. Once you've done both directions, let's do some fire hydrants. I like to come down onto my left forearm for these. You can stay up on both hands if that works for you. And then let's just inhale and lift that right leg out to the side. Squeeze that outer glute medius on the right leg. Exhale down. Inhale it up. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2. Last one, hold that right leg out, straighten the leg, lower the foot down on the mat, and then just walk your hands out into a nice little puppy stretch. Allow your chest to come down towards the mat. Sit bones are reaching wide and behind you. And then inhale, walk your hands back up. We will scoot this left shin underneath and just come down onto our seat. So we're in like a wide-legged janu here. Right leg reaches out to the side. You've got the left sole of the foot coming towards that right thigh. And then let's just take a side bend here. So right hand can come on the inside of the right leg. Open that left arm up overhead. Nice open side bend here. And then inhale, come back to center. This one might seem a little bit weird, but we're just going to come down onto our left side. So you can bring that right knee to meet the left. We'll lower down onto our left side. And we'll do a few clamshell drills here. So you can be on your side fully with the forearm down, or you could be up on the left forearm, whatever feels more comfortable for you. I kind of like to hold my head with my left hand. And then our knees are out about 45 degrees. They're stacked. Ankles are stacked as well. You can place your right fingertips down right in front of you. Keep the ankles and the toes, probably more so the toes, meeting as we lift the right knee. So squeeze this outer glute medius, lift the right knee, and then lower. Keep the hips stacked. Try to keep the hips from moving as we lift and lower. You should feel a very big contraction here in that right glute medius and the outer hip. It's externally rotating that right leg. Let's do one more here. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Release. And then just come down all the way onto your back. Have your knees bent. Cross that right knee over the left, keeping that right leg externally rotating. Bring your hands to basket behind your head, and we'll just take a few oblique crunches to the right here. So let's lift that left elbow towards the right knee, and then exhale, lower down. Lift them up. Let's do inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift and contract. Inhale, lower down. Let's do 2 more. Try to keep that right knee reaching away from you. Last one. Can release that leg. Take your hands behind your knees, and then let's rock and roll, cross the ankles, come right back into that tabletop. So make sure wrists are under shoulders, knees are under hips. Take that left leg and do some hip circles. Keep a bent knee. Circle that hip out in one direction. And then change directions back the other way. 3, 2, 1. Fire hydrants. Come down onto the right forearm if you'd like. And then let's inhale, lift that left leg. Keep the knee bent 90 degrees. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2. On that last one, hold it out. Straighten the leg. Lower the foot down onto the floor. Walk the hands out. Lower the chest. This is like a mashup between puppy stretch and gate pose. Let's take one more breath. And then walk the hands back up. Pivot this shin underneath. Just come down on to your seat into like a half wide-legged forward fold. So you've got the right leg bent in. We'll take a side bend. So left hand can come down. Right arm reaches up overhead, opening the chest. You can gaze up. Let's take one more breath. And then we'll come down on to the right side. So I'll be facing the other way. Bring your knees in to meet. Come down onto the right side. Arm placement, whatever works for you. If you'd like to have that hand on the head, you can. Legs are about 45 degrees out in front, knees stacked. And then work to open that left knee. Let's do 5, 4. Try to keep the hips stacked. We don't want any rocking through the hips. We want to keep them stacked. Have all of that contraction be coming from the glute medius. Let's do 2 more. You can even have your hand here and feel it squeeze. Last one, hold. 3, 2, 1. Release. Roll back onto your back. Cross that left leg over the right, there at the ankle. Hands behind the head. Let's do some oblique crunches. Take an inhale on your exhale. Right elbow towards left knee. Inhale it down. Exhale, crunch. You should be feeling a shortening here through your obliques as they're drawing your torso towards your knee. I lost count, so let's go ahead and do one more. And then release back down. Hands behind the knees. Let's rock and roll forward. Cross those ankles. Come back into tabletop. Take a breath here in your tabletop. And then curl your toes and lift your hips. Just come into a turbo dog. Keep your knees bent. And then drop one ankle and then the other. Make sure you're pressing your palms into the mat. Let's do a couple more heel drops. Low belly draws in. Sit bones reach up. And then you can keep your knees bent. Let's just tiptoe all the way towards the front of the mat. Into a forward fold. And then ground down through those feet. Root to rise. Lift the arms all the way up overhead. And exhale back down through Tadasana. At the top of your mat, you can have your feet touching or hips distance apart. Let's inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, lower the hips, bend the knees. Let's come into chair pose, Utkatasana. Everything is hugging into the midline here. Your inner thighs are squeezing together. Your belly is drawing in. Shift the weight into your right foot. See if you can hover that left foot. Step that left foot back into a high crescent lunge. So your right knee is bent. Left leg can have a little bend in it if that feels comfortable for you, or try to energetically straighten that back leg energy out through the back heel. Arms are up overhead, biceps framing your ears. Let's take an inhale. Reach the arms up, straighten that front leg. Exhale, lower the arms down by your sides, bend the knee, bend the back knee. Just do some pulses. It doesn't have to look a certain way, just up and down through your crescent lunge. Arms going up as we rise, going down as we fall. Last time here. Come back up into your crescent lunge. Release the arms back behind you. You can work for a clasp if you like. Interlace your fingers. Press your palms down towards that back heel. Open the chest. And then see if you can fold forward over that front leg. Take a breath here. You can release your head. Exhale, lower the hands down. Let's lift that right leg up into a three-legged downward facing dog. Bend the knee. Take some hip circles again with that right leg. Go in one direction and then switch. And then see if you can come into a scorpion dog. So take the heel towards the glute. Work to open that right hip. So squeeze that heel towards the glute. Open the knee. Take an inhale. On your next exhale, shift forward. See if you can tap your right tricep with the right knee. And then come back into that scorpion dog. Straighten the right leg. Bring the knee in towards the nose. Let's plant that right foot. And then let's cartwheel all the way up into warrior two. So right heel lines up with the left inner arch. Arms reach out in opposite directions. Shoulders stack over hips. And then let's straighten that front leg, reach the arms up overhead, reach them back behind you a little bit. Take a little bit of an oblique lean here. And then let's just do a fluid movement. So straight front leg, arms reaching back, bend the front leg, and then kind of lean the arms forward. So we're keeping our arms almost like we're holding onto a ball. Inhaling up, exhaling down. You should feel some engagement here in your obliques as you lean forward. Let's come back up one more time. Lean back, hold onto that ball. And then exhale, come forward. Cartwheel the hands all the way down. Let's come into a revolved lunge. So left hand down on a block or the mat. Open that right hand up. And then challenge here, see if you can come onto the outer edge of the left foot and step that right foot back into a side plank. You can always be down on the left knee for a modified side plank if you would like. And then in your side plank, if you'd like to try, see if you can lift this right leg, come into tree legs in your side plank. So have the right foot reaching towards the left thigh. It can be anywhere on the leg. Whatever works for you. Then release that leg. Let's come into plank. Shift forward. You can come onto your knees. Lower all the way down onto your belly. Take your forearms down in front of you into a Sphinx pose. So forearms down, chest reaches forward, shoulder blades draw in towards one another, and then open that right knee out to the right, 90 degrees. You're on the inner edge of your right foot. This is a half frog. And you're pressing that right hip open. You can press down into the right knee. Allow that to open for just a moment. Reach that right leg back long. Bring the hands underneath the biceps. And then let's press back up into our plank. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. And then tiptoe, bend your knees if you need to, all the way to the front of the mat. Into a forward fold. Root down through those feet, rise all the way back up into Tadasana. Meet back at the top of your mat. Feet can be touching or hips distance apart. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, come back into that Utkatasana. So reach your sit bones behind you like you're getting ready to sit down in that chair. You can bring your hands to heart center. Shift the weight into your left foot. See if you can hover the right. Step the right foot back into that high crescent. Inhale the arms up overhead. Have a long line here through your torso, all the way up through the crown of your head. And then take those lifts and lower. So inhale the arms up. Exhale, just let them fall as the back knee drops. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Let's do a few more. I'm not sure how many we did on the other side. Let's do 3 more. Last 2. This one just feels good. Last one. Inhale back up into your crescent lunge. Exhale, release the arms. Take that hand clasp if you can. If not, just reach the hands towards one another. Interlace the fingers. Draw those shoulders. Take a moment. Draw the shoulders together. Open those upper arm bones. And then exhale, fold forward. And release. You can release the crown of your head. Feel an opening through your chest. Exhale, release the hands down to frame that front foot. Step back into this 3-legged downward facing dog. Bend that left knee. Take your hip circles. Go in one direction and then change opposite direction. And then try for that scorpion dog. So left heel towards left glute. Open the hip, open the knee. Feel a nice stretch. Take an inhale. On your next exhale, shift forward. See if you can tap the left tricep with that left knee. Come back into that 3-legged downward facing dog. Bring the left knee in towards the nose. Plant that left foot. Cartwheel up. Warrior 2 on the left. Opening through both hips here. See if you can scoop this left hip underneath. Bend through the left knee. And then straighten that left leg. Reach the arms up overhead. Grab onto that ball. Allow the torso to lean. And then come forward into Warrior 2. Almost like your tree branches and you're just swaying in the wind. Let's do a couple more here. Come back up. On this one, come forward. Drop that left hand. Allow the right arm to cartwheel all the way down into that revolved lunge. Right hand down, left arm up. You can gaze up or down at the left toe. See if you can come onto the outer edge of your right foot. Step back into side plank on the right. This can always be on the right knee. And then if you'd like that challenge to try for tree legs, pick a place, bend that left knee, open. Squeeze through the right glute medius here to help lift your hips. Lower that leg, come into your plank. Shift forward, lower all the way down onto the belly. Find those sphinx arms, come onto the forearms. Pull the chest through, and then bring that left leg out to the side, 90 degrees, into your half frog. Almost like a tucking the pelvis sensation here to help open through the hip. Can kind of squeeze through that right glute, press down through the left knee. Feel that inner thigh on the left leg open, hip opening. Take one more breath. Release that left leg. Hands under the biceps. Curl your toes, come up on knees or through plank. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. Draw that low belly in, press the mat away, and then tiptoe all the way to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Take a moment here. Allow the crown of your head to descend down towards the mat, your upper back to release. And then ground both feet down into the mat. Press them down as you lift your torso all the way up, arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands down through heart center into Tadasana. Let's try for a little vrksasana. I feel like we've opened up our hips here. So let's inhale and lift this left leg in front of us into stork. So like a 90-degree position. Take 3 pulses out to the side with that left knee. 2, 1. Hold it out to the side here. See if you can grab onto the left shin. Bring that left sole of the foot towards the right thigh. Now, options for tree. If this isn't working for you to have the foot on the inside of the thigh, you can always have toes grounded down on the mat, heel resting. You could bring the sole of the left foot towards your calf. You can use your hands to bring it up towards the thigh. So choose whichever version of vrksasana works best for your body today. Just try not to have the sole of that left foot pressing on the inside of the right knee. Choose either a spot above or below it. Now squeeze through both glute medius muscles, help stabilize through the standing leg and open that left hip. The knee is pointing down, hips square towards the front. Bring your hands into prayer. Find your drishti. That's probably the most important part of this pose. Gaze in front. Find a point to focus on. Let's count for 3 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. See if you can step this left foot back. Let's meet in warrior 2 again. Awesome job. Arms reach in opposite directions. Let's inhale, flip the front palm, reach it up overhead into reverse warrior. And then exhale, come into side angle. You can have forearm on the thigh, hand on a block, hand on the mat. Open your chest up towards the ceiling. Inhale, cartwheel the arms back up into reverse warrior. Exhale, come into side angle one more time. Inhale, back up into your reverse warrior. I like to come in to our warrior 2 here. Straighten that front leg. We're coming into triangle pose. So if you know you want to shorten your stance, you can heel toe that back foot in just a little bit. And then reach that right arm long. Imagine this long, long, long side body through the right side. And then exhale the right hand down. You can have your hand on a block, hand on your shin, hand on the mat. Long side body through the right side, long side body through the left side. Press these top ribs down. Left arm reaches up. See if you can reach this left arm up overhead. And then bring the left hand all the way down next to the right foot. Move your block out of the way if it's there. Bring both hands down and then just step this back foot forward. Take your forward fold and then inhale, root to rise all the way back up. Let's try vrksasana on the other side. So shift the weight into your left foot. Bring that right foot in front of you into your stork. Take 3 pulses out to the right. 2. Last one, hold it out to the side. See if you can bring the sole of your right foot into calf, thigh, or toes on the floor. Squeeze through both glute medius muscles. Right knee points down, long spine, sternum reaches forward, hands at heart center. A trick for balancing, if your hands are in prayer, press your hands into one another to help balance both sides of your body. Find your drishti, find your focus, really ground down through that left foot. These balancing postures can be so challenging. And then release that right foot, step it back, warrior 2 on the left. Inhale, flip that front palm, reach the left arm up overhead into reverse warrior. Exhale, forearm to thigh, hand to block, hand to the mat, side angle. Long line all the way up the right side. Inhale, come back up into reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Let's inhale back up into our reverse warrior one more time. Realign in your warrior two, straighten the front leg, heel toe this back leg in. If you need a shorter stance, reach that left arm long, 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 hinging here at the hip. Release the left hand down to a block, your shin, the mat. Open your chest up to the right. Try to get your shoulders to stack. Long lines up the side bodies. Reach that right arm up overhead on an inhale. And then exhale, cartwheel that right hand down. Come onto the back toes, both hands down on blocks or the mat. Launch forward, right foot meets left, forward fold, Uttanasana. Root down through the feet, inhale, rise all the way back up to stand. We'll try vrksasana one more time with a little added challenge. Do you remember when we were in warrior two before and we did that swaying motion where we pretended like we were holding onto a ball? We are going to try that in our tree pose. I'll actually turn and face you so you can see. So let's shift the weight into our right foot. Bring the left foot up into your tree pose, placing the foot wherever is comfortable for you. Take a moment to find your balance, find your drishti, find your focus. Root down through that foot. Inhale the arms up overhead. Pretend like we're holding on to that ball and see if you can lean to the right just a little bit. Keep your eyes on that focus point. Inhale it back up to center. I'm going to lose it. I feel myself wobbling. And then see if you can lean to the left. This is such a challenge. Moving the upper body is so hard in this one. Let's inhale back up. Exhale, release. Can shake out this right ankle a little bit. Give it a little dance move. All right. Shift the weight into your left foot. Bring this right foot up into tree pose on the other side. Or start again if your balance was off. Oh. All right. Are we good? We found our tree pose. I'm good here. Squeeze through both glute medius muscles. This is the stabilizer. This is what's holding your standing leg, giving you that balance. Inhale the arms up overhead. Grab that imaginary ball. See if you can lean to the left. You're engaging those left obliques, trying to keep that balance. Inhale back to center. See if you can lean a little bit to the right. Maybe. All the wobbles. I'm there with you guys, wobbling, wobbling. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, release. Shake out that left ankle. Awesome job, guys. All right, back up to the top of the mat. Let's inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, hands on blocks or the mat. Heel toe the feet out about mat's distance apart, toes pointing out 45 degrees. Let's bend our knees, lower the hips into Malasana. So you can have your upper arms on the inside of your thighs here. Take a moment and allow that tailbone to just reach down towards the mat, crown of the head reach up, long spine. You can place your left fingertips down on the mat. Open that right arm up into a little bit of a twist. Let's come back into center. Right fingertips down. Open into twist to the left. Left arm reaches up. Let's release that and come back into center. See if you can just lower carefully all the way on to your seat. Scoot your seat back a little bit on your mat. Left leg reaches long, toes are active. Just bring that right knee in towards the chest. You're on the sole of the right foot. Let's inhale the right arm up overhead. Exhale, twist to the right. Left arm hugs this right knee in. On the right fingertips. Keep the left leg active. If you'd like to twist a little bit deeper, you can bring the outside of the left arm, upper arm, into the right thigh. Try to keep a long spine. And then let's come back to center and we'll switch sides. Right leg reaches long, left foot comes in, knee towards the chest. Inhale the left arm up overhead. Exhale, twist to the left, left fingertips or palm down. Hug that left knee in with the right arm. You can gaze over the left shoulder, keep the right leg active, toes reaching up. If you'd like a little bit deeper twist, bring the upper arm on the right to the outside of the left thigh. On your next inhale, come back to center. We are going to lower all the way down onto our back. So scoot your seat forward. You can have your knees bent, arms reach in front of you, almost like someone is pulling your arms and resisting. They're not going to let you roll down. Slowly, 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 one vertebrae at a time, all the way on to your back. Good job. Bend the left knee, sole of the left foot down, cross the right ankle over the left knee. We'll take a reclined pigeon here. So keep the right foot flexing. That right knee is pushing out and away as long as you're not having any knee or ankle or hip pain on the right leg. If so, back off a little bit. If this feels good, hug this left knee in towards the chest. Grab behind the left thigh on the hamstring or the front of the left shin. Hug this right leg in towards the chest. You should feel a super deep stretch on the outside of that right hip. So that glute medius muscle that we have been engaging so much for those tree legs, this one is for you. All right, we can release. Let's just go ahead and cross that right leg all the way over the left leg, and then just allow the knees to fall to the left into a twist. You may need to shift your hips a little bit. Come on to the left hip. Open that right arm up overhead, out to the right, and you can gaze over that right thumb. A couple of breaths here in this supine twist. And then let's inhale, come back to center, uncross the legs, and switch sides. So right foot is down, cross the left ankle over, keep that left foot flexing, left knee, press it out and away. And then if you're ready, you can hug that right knee into the chest. You can always just stay here. If this is too intense or if this is enough for you, you're feeling the stretch, you can stay here. If not, hug this thigh in, grab onto hamstring or the shin. Hug that in towards the chest. This one always feels so good. Let's exhale, right foot down, just cross the left leg all the way over. You may need to press down into the right foot and just lift up onto this right hip as you allow the knees to fall to the right. We want to have our hips stacked. Inhale that. Left arm up overhead, open it out to the side. See if you can come onto the left shoulder blade. Gaze to the left. If the cross in the legs is too intense, you can always release that and stack the knees. This right knee that's kind of pressing on the outside of the left foot can make the twist here in your thoracic spine a little bit more intense. So if that's too much, just uncross the legs and do a stacked knee supine twist. Let's inhale, come back to center. We'll do one more little vrksasana themed movement. Let's reach the right leg out long. Just bring that left leg into tree, like we're supine. Just pretend like you're in tree pose. That left knee is bent, knee is pushing down and away. Reach your arms up overhead. Get a nice long stretch through the side body. And then let's try that little lean. So you can start to walk your hands and your torso over to the right. Should feel a nice side stretch through the left side. And then walk the hands and the torso over to the left. You might have to do a little scooting. Nice stretch up the right side body. This one might feel a little weird. We're not used to doing vrksasana on our backs, but you can kind of feel that lean in the position. You can keep your arms up overhead, just switch your legs. So right knee is bent. And then let's walk our hands. Actually, let's start at the left, sorry. Walk the hands and the torso to the left. And then walk them over to the right. Feel a nice side stretch up the left side. Let's walk back to center. Option here for a Supta Baddha Konasana or just regular Shavasana. So choose the legs that work for you. Shavasana legs. Supta Baddha Konasana would be same legs as the position we started in. Soles of the feet meet. Knees reach out wide. If you'd like to stay in the Supta Baddha Konasana here for Shavasana, there's always an option to place blocks underneath the knees. That can kind of make it a little bit more restorative. And then lift your chest, tuck your shoulder blades underneath, palms of your hands face up, close your eyes. Just let go of that breath if you had any control on it. If it was in through the nose, out through the nose during your practice, you can let that go. And just allow your body here to absorb your practice. Absorb the movements. Today we focused on a lot of different shapes that were all related to vrksasana, our tree pose. And as you leave class today, I would like to remind you to always try and be like a tree. Stay grounded. Keep growing. And know when to let go. Can stay here as long as you would like. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.